Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Jim Masters Show live entertainment lifestyle variety talk show series. Hope everybody's doing well today. We've got a very special guest right next to me. Let's see. Am I pointing in the right direction? I think you're right there.
Yes, exactly.
It's like doing the weather. It's going to be sunny up in Massachusetts and it's going to be rainy down in Miami. How are you, Cynthia Shaw, a brilliant actress, singer, pianist extraordinaire, joining us here live and direct from New York City. It's nice to have you with us. Welcome.
Thank you, Jim. I'm so excited to be here. I'm really looking forward to this. So,
I appreciate that. Thank you very
yeah,
much. I know some folks told you about our show, and you're a lovety. You've been watching our series. You enjoy what we're doing here with our entertainment lifestyle variety talk show series, sort of bringing back the lost art of conversation in the old school talk show style, but with a modern vibe and a modern twist to today. Really nice to have you here. I want to let the audience know about your exquisite background. You come from originally Pueblo, Colorado, and you moved to New York City to attend the Manhattan School of Music. And since graduating, you dedicated your life and continued to music and performance. And some of those highlights and film credits include works presented at the Cannes Festival Corner, the Film Society of Lincoln Center, the Soho International Film Festival, World Fest International Film Festival, Indie Fest, the Los Angeles Movie Awards, the Big Apple Film Festival, and Manhattan Film Festival, just to name a few. Lead role in Mara, a film shot and garnered 14 awards. And wow, even in the episode of the web series too, Brooklyn is in Love.
Right.
You won 2 awards for that.
And I know, crazy, right?
It's nice. Yeah, busy is good. And of course, that was at the prestigious LA Web Fest. Some of your credits stage-wise are many. You're working with the Off-Broadway theater groups in New York City, the Medicine Show Theater, the Barrow Group, T. Schreiber Studios, the Wild Project, the Articulate Theater Company, and the Secret Theater. And the delightful Cynthia Shaw, who has been described as, if you sort of take Stockard Channing and you blend her with Susan Sarandon, you've got a hurricane wrapped in a well-wrapped package. So we should have some wind.
Well, actually, we do, because I have my fan on right over here. So I do have like wind going.
You do. Well, it's really cool. And that's just the short list. Again, you've been doing this for a long time. You capture the grandeur and the pathos of the arts in such a beautiful, beautiful way. And your one-woman show, too, which we just chatting about before we went live on the air, Velvet Determination, is a musical journey about wrong notes, hard knocks, and the keys to success. And it premiered back in 2018 at New York City's United Solo Festival. And it actually won the Best Festival Debut and went on to win many awards from there. And wow, you're having a good time, huh?
I know, it really is. My show has Velvet Determination has really grown and gotten, just more fun and more, I don't know, it's really great. And in fact, I was just telling you before this that I just performed it at the Reykjavik Fringe Festival in Iceland.
Iceland, yes.
Yeah, which was so wonderful. Oh my gosh, the people there were so great. We met so many wonderful people. The space was wonderful. And even though it was 48 degrees outside, it was cold.
48 degrees, yes, Iceland.
Yeah,
but isn't it a beautiful place?
Oh my gosh, it is so beautiful. I mean, and at 1 o'clock in the morning, because it's summertime, the sun is still out, and I got a picture of a beautiful rainbow, which was really awesome.
Did you really?
Yeah, and then but then next week I'm doing it at the 59 East 59th Street. In their East Edinburgh Festival. And then in August, I take the show to Edinburgh, to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. So,
wow.
Yeah.
That's fantastic, huh?
Yeah. So it's been a wild ride. It's been really, you know, what's interesting to me is that it all started out with just an idea that I had.
Really?
Now,
was this when you were a kid? I mean, going back even further, I mean, what inspired you as a kid growing up in Pueblo, Colorado?
Well, in my show, what I say is that, and this is the truth, that when I was in the doctor's office, I saw a New Yorker magazine on my coffee table. And I opened up the New Yorker magazine and I saw all these listings of performances. And I was in Pueblo, Colorado. I was 7 years old, right? But for some reason, that particular magazine, the New Yorker, just like struck me so hard. And I thought, you know what? I want to live in New York City. That's what I thought. I had no idea what New York City was. I didn't know anything. But what I knew from that New Yorker was that there was so much culture and performances and stuff. And I wanted to see all of those things. So here I am. And I just knocked my beautiful light over. Sorry.
I was going to say, that's how passionate you are. A hurricane wrapped in a great package. I was going to say, we could have played off that you were having an earthquake and you were coming to us live from LA.
I know. But the thing is about the show itself is that about 10 years ago, I started thinking about all the things that happened to me when I first came to New York. Not bad. I didn't have bad things, but life experience and young person kinds of things. And there was a moment, a sort of an epiphany moment that I had that I talk about in my show that really was about me breaking from my parents and being my own self. And so I started writing all these little stories down. And little by little, they made their way into being a solo show.
That is fantastic. Really. So does it go, it goes as far back as childhood or teenage?
Yeah, I talk about my first teacher who had bright orange hair and smoked cigarettes while I was taking my piano lessons.
What was that teacher's name? Do you remember?
Oh gosh, I don't remember, but what I do remember is I remember sitting in her living room and I remember her sitting there next to me and I remember her smoking cigarettes, and her wild orange hair and there was a metronome. Tick, 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 tick. Yeah.
Very Betty Davis like.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I'd never even thought about that.
Isn't that something?
Yeah. So, but I remember her so well. And I remember my mom talking about how she'd use peroxide to dye her hair. That really struck with me. Peroxide. Oh, peroxide.
Now, how did your mother figure out, how did she deduce that your teacher used peroxide?
I don't know.
She was able to.
Yeah. I don't know if there was some sort of parent adult gossip that happened. I was so little, I don't remember, but I do remember the word peroxide.
That stood out for you. That is funny. Wow.
Yeah.
Growing up in Pueblo, what were some of those additional influences for you? I mean, how did you want to get into the arts growing up in Colorado? Colorado is a beautiful state. I was on a TV shoot towards Denver and we filmed outside Red Rocks, which is
that's so beautiful.
Stunning.
Oh
really,
my gosh,
really
Red
beautiful.
Rocks.
Yeah.
Up there in the mountains.
By the Rockies, exactly, or in the Rockies, absolutely.
Yeah, in the Rockies. Yeah, I saw Joan Baez there one time when I was in college. Yeah.
Red Rocks?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It was so wonderful.
Cool. Yeah, the elevation too, as you get towards Denver, you have to remember that the elevation is up there. Well, actually, when we were there, some of the folks took us up to the top of the Mother Cabrini Shrine.
Oh, right.
You ever go there? I think that's in Golden, Colorado, like 8,000 feet up. It is stunningly beautiful, really.
Yeah.
But
I was just there this summer, like last week. It was my mother's birthday, and my mother's 87, and she wanted to take the cog railway up to Pikes Peak. So we did the cog railway, and the view from the top of Pikes Peak is just
stunning, isn't it?
Yeah. It's really beautiful, totally beautiful.
So were you in plays? Were you singing and dancing around the house when you were a kid? Tell us about something.
Well, let's see. So my father was a musician. He was a jazz and big band trombone player, although he and I I played classical music. So I didn't really connect in that way. I mean, I loved my father and he was wonderful, but we didn't make any music together. But I had my first teacher, Mr. Dehart, who was my most serious teacher. But really for me, everything, like when I was in junior high, I played cello in the orchestra, but it was really when I was in high school at Centennial High School that I met Mr. Ken Butcher, who was the chorus teacher. And he really, for me, brought music totally alive. I accompanied chorus. I sang in chorus. I was in the madrigal group. I discovered I was a really good sight reader, sight singer. I was still in orchestra, but I auditioned for Fiddler on the Roof, Golda, and I got Golda. So I played Golda. and I was in Bye Bye Birdie. I was one of the chorus members. Anyway, so it was really Mr. Butcher. But we always went to the Pueblo Symphony. We always did all sorts of music things. We went to plays as much as we could, as much as there was in Pueblo. So that by the time I was ready to go to college, there was no question in my mind that I would be a piano major, that I would be a music major.
Was it first for you, or did you try?
Yeah.
Because sometimes people dabble in other instruments and then they end up, we had Kevin Eubanks on, of course, who was the music director for Jay Leno and The Tonight Show.
Right.
We had an epic conversation. We had music and all kinds of cool stuff. And he grew up in Philadelphia, and he was talking about how he's so well known for the guitar. You always see him with the guitar, but his first instrument was actually violin. And he played it for about, I think, 7 years, and then sort of strayed away and went into guitar, a couple other things, I think piano too. But now he's looking back and he said, boy, I wish I kept up with the violin.
Yeah, for me, piano was always the thing. I always played the piano, but I always sang also.
Yes.
And I always sang in choir. But when I went to college, I was just a piano major. But when I came to New York, I played the piano. But then I started musical directing, and I started musical directing shows. And then in musical directing shows, I was like, I want to be up on the stage. I don't want to be by the piano. So then at that time, I started singing a lot. I was doing a lot of choral singing with Greg Smith singers. And I recorded an album of the a cappella singer of madrigal music with the Douglas Frank Chorale. So we recorded that. So I always sang. So the thing is, what's kind of ironic is that for a while there, people only knew me as a singer. They didn't even know that I played the piano. And then I'd be like, oh, I play the piano. They're like, oh, really? And then I'd like play something. They're like, oh, you play the piano.
Play the piano. You really play the piano.
Yeah. So I've kind of gone, I still do choral singing, professional choral singing, because I love professional choral singing. I was always an accompanist. I don't do so much musical directing now, but for 15 years, I was a musical director of a group. It's called the New York Christmas Revels. And every year we would put on a show at Symphony Space. And each year was dedicated to a different culture. There was a Scandinavian show, a Russian show, an Irish show. So I would have to teach the chorus all this music based on those cultures. So it was learning different languages and everything. So it was really wonderfully challenging.
Wow. Now, what were you listening to at that time? What would be, sort of in your tape deck or on your record player or sort of in your CD player back then? What kind of music were you listening to? Or did you have a wide range of music that you enjoyed?
I listened to a wide range of music, but the bottom line is I didn't really, other than in high school and college, I didn't really listen to a lot of music, which I know goes totally against most musicians. I know it's crazy, right? But it's just because, I listened to Ella Fitzgerald. I loved Ella Fitzgerald.
Oh, yeah.
And, but I was so busy going to live performances that I didn't really listen to a lot of things, which I know sounds really like, what's wrong with you? But I don't know.
So when did the acting start to slide in then too for you?
So it happened when I started musical directing. So the reason I got into musical directing is that I needed a summer job, and there was a listing for Stage Door Manor, which is a children's theater camp in the Catskills. Right. And I was like, oh, I bet I could do that. And I auditioned for that, and I got in, and suddenly I was
Borscht Belt.
Yes. All of a sudden I was musical directing all of these kids and teaching songs and all this stuff. And I was like, oh, I kind of like this. I do this pretty well. And I like working with groups. I like people.
Did you like working with the kids too?
I liked working with the kids, but not as much as you might think. It was okay, but they were kids and they were at camp, and some of them were bratty. There were some very famous kids there, like Bijou Phillips was there. She was a little holy terror. I don't know if she's watching, but anyway.
Our next guest is waiting in the wings is
Bijou Phillips. No, anyway. Anyway, so I started musical directing, And as I was musical directing, I would see the people on stage. I loved being in the green room with all the actors. That was my favorite thing.
Yeah,
And
sure.
I love seeing everybody on stage. And I started thinking like, you know what? I want to be up there on the stage. And so then that I started taking acting classes and little by little getting myself up on the stage. So yeah, so that's kind of how it happened.
So so you're sort of fine tuning things, you're moving forward in the direction. Then there's opportunities that start to knock, or opportunities that perhaps you even create yourself. What would you consider one of those major opportunities or door openers that happened for you that sort of propelled your career?
Hmm. I mean, I would
Was it the
say,
move to New York?
well, definitely the move to New York. I mean, but that was when I was 22 years old. And so definitely the move to New York. I mean, as much as I love Colorado and as beautiful it is as it is, I still feel like there's just so much energy
Yeah.
here. And, you know,
And you knew New York was it? Was LA ever an option?
no, I never wanted to go to LA.
Yeah.
I like the New York lifestyle. I
You
like
like
walking.
theater and
I love live theater. I love walking. I love the subway. I always hated driving a car. I mean, I do drive, but that wasn't my thing. So yeah, I like this. I like going to small Broadway, off Broadway theaters and seeing things. I just like, even bad theater in New York is like really good theater.
it's still very good
It's still
compared to
very, very good. Yeah.
places, right? Yeah,
Yeah. So, I
sure.
mean, I have to say, I think writing my solo show was one of the big things that really like pushed me forward in a big way, which I did not expect. I didn't know that that's what would happen, but it kind of did.
That's
Yeah.
cool. That's really, really cool.
Yeah.
So, how did you start to get into the opportunities to be, like, in plays, in productions, and some of these other credits that I mentioned that you started to really build up in various forms of the arts?
Well, I started taking acting classes at Terry Schreiber Studios, and I loved it there so much. I loved every teacher. I felt really supported at that studio, totally supported. Everybody there was supportive, and yet it wasn't like mollycoddling, like you were challenged. So I was in the advanced acting class with Terry Schreiber, and I loved it so much. I was in it for a couple of years, and I began to realize I was doing harder and harder scenes. And I began to realize that I could easily just stay in class forever because it was really wonderful, but that it was time for me to start sort of branching out. So I started auditioning for this and that. And then some of the people in my class were auditioning for films. And so I thought, oh, that sounds fun. So I started auditioning for student films and I started getting bookings. So in fact, I started getting so many bookings that I had to quit taking classes because I couldn't be there for classes. So that's kind of how everything just started. Just me, taking chances and then learning from other people like, oh, well, you have to submit for this, or you have to be on this website, or you have to, be on Backstage. You have to be on Actors
Yes.
Access. You kind of learn from each other.
Backstage is
And
like the Bible. Yeah.
yeah, and so I just started learning from other people what I should do, who I should. Oh, casting directors. Oh, I have to meet casting directors. Oh, okay, right.
Yeah.
I have to learn monologues. Oh, okay. And I think one big hurdle that I had to overcome was that when you're in an acting class, you're given a scene, you memorize the scene, you work on the scene with your scene partner, your teacher, blah, 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 blah. But I didn't really know how to go into an audition.
Mm.
I didn't know what to do. And I remember the first film audition I went on, it was at the Crane Theater. I will never forget that. And the woman said to me, okay, so can you slate first? I had no idea what she was talking about. I was
Can
like,
you
I don't know what that means.
can you slate? What do you mean? I don't work in cement or rocks or minerals or slate.
Exactly. I didn't know what it was, and I was so embarrassed, Oh my God. Now I know, right? The sides and your hands and all this stuff, right? But I didn't know. So it's been sort of
even the
learning.
sides too. You're like, what do you mean? Did I have something sticking out? What do you mean the sides?
Right. Oh, here are your sides. I'm like,
right.
well, where's the whole play? They're like, what? No, you just get the sides. I'm like, oh, okay. So yeah, so I feel like I'm constantly learning.
Yeah.
Constantly. Yeah. And
Isn't
I
that
like
great?
that.
Exactly right. Yeah. These opportunities that you've had are really extraordinary, huh? Have they exceeded your expectations?
I don't even know. I don't even know what my expectations were.
How did you get into film? I mean, you got a lot of film credits too.
Well, it was through doing student films.
Yeah.
So I did a bunch of student films, and some of them were actually, my first film was a horror film with this wonderful director, Emre Sisik, who's he lives in Istanbul, and I did a horror film, and I was on that set, and I like fell in love right then and there. I was like, oh man, this is really cool. I was being like, I had to stab somebody and I had to do all these fun things.
Of course, playing the antithesis of Cynthia Shaw, of course.
Exactly. No. In fact, when I got this script, I read it and I was like, oh, I have to stab someone in the eye. Like I'm not going to worry about that. That's not my job. And so the way they did it was so interesting. I was on a ladder. So so that really started it for me. So I got some really good footage from those films, and so I just kept uploading them and editing them, and of course then I had to learn how to use iMovie to edit my own things. And so yeah, I feel like all of us, like you get to a certain level and I have to learn this. Oh, okay, I have to learn that one. I have to learn that one. Oh, I have to learn that one. Right? You just keep learning.
We have a performance demo reel I want to show our audience. We've got music coming up, all kinds of cool things for you, gang. She also teaches as much as she plays and performs. This is the performance reel. Did you want to preface that at all before we show it, Cynthia?
No.
Or just show it and we'll surprise
and then show it. Yeah.
You're watching the Jim Masters Show live, entertainment, lifestyle, variety talk show series, broadcasting all around the world. I'm your host, Jim Masters. Our very special guest, renowned actress and singer and pianist Cynthia Shaw is here live from New York City. If you haven't yet, we would love it if you subscribe to our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV, and click the notification bell so you never miss any of our incredible episodes. Over 720 episodes we have done live 7 days a week since launching the Jim Masters Show series just 2 years ago. And if you enjoy this, leave a comment for us. Let us know how much you're enjoying what we're doing, and give us a thumbs up as well. If you'd like to comment in our exclusive JMS Live Lovity chat room while the show is live, you can do that as well when you subscribe to our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV, that houses all these great episodes we do to entertain and inform all of you and inspire you as well. Here's that performance reel, gang. We'll take a look at that, and then Cynthia and I will be back for more fun and music with all of you. Here it is.
You want to talk about it?
Talk? Well, who, us? Oh, you mean the two of us? Like between the two of us?
You want to talk or not?
You mean about our dead son? Oh, we haven't done that before, so why should we bother now? I want you to stop acting like nothing has happened. That's what I want.
If you want to have a grieving contest, go find someone else.
Oh, I know how you grieve. Have another beer! I'm a widow. I'm sad. I'm lonely. And I'm in serious need of some carnal bliss. You're a good-looking guy in a shitty marriage. You're also a chaperone. That Verna Heath, that bitch. She probably has people on the inside. She has those people like under her thumb. You gonna light up that thing?
Trying to give it up.
Well, now's not the time. I want that bitch gone. And her daughter, too.
What the hell are you talking about?
You know what I'm talking about. Any questions?
No, sister. Thank you.
I'll talk to you again when you come to class. It is better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. How many of you believe that it is better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all? Isn't it obvious? You left this family long ago. You never visited us. You never told us anything about your life.
I was trying to establish something for myself.
And then, 4 years ago, out of the blue, you came down here and decided that I needed medical help. How much love would you like, Cass?
Very, very riveting. Yeah, huh? It shows the versatility, all the different versions of yourself playing those incredible roles. Do you lean towards the dramatic, or do you like the comedic, or a little of both?
I like a little of both. I mean, I oftentimes am cast in dramatic roles, actually, but I really like comedy a lot. So, so it kind of goes back and forth, and it's weird because you would think that I would have one or the other, but I don't know. I like them both. So I like that reel because it kind of does both things.
Yes.
And that first take, that was the film Mara that we shot upstate that won like 12 awards. And I had to actually learn how to shoot a gun. So I went to there was a rifle club in Brooklyn. And so I went there and they showed me how to hold a gun and how to shoot it, and a rifle actually. And then we had like a dead bird on set, and the director had this thing about wolves. She wanted to have a wolf. So like there's a scene where a wolf, I'm looking, because I'm sort of a schizophrenic woman, and there's a wolf.
You're like a hurricane wrapped in.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And then there's a wolf in the window staring in at me like this. It's like so weird.
A little eerie, huh?
It was very eerie. It was really, really fun.
You thought you're in Shining or something. The Shining, right?
Exactly.
Jack Nicholson was right around the corner.
Well,
now we're gonna.
Oh,
yeah, go ahead.
No. The first night we were there, actually, we lost all of our electricity, so everyone had to sleep in the house, in the cabin.
Ooh.
So there were like 24 of us. All the crew were downstairs.
Friday the 13th.
Like, exactly. And so because I was like a lead, I got my own bedroom, but everybody else was like, they were like little bugs in a rug downstairs.
Yeah, but it was like. Now we want to throw something in that's completely on the other side of the fence, and this is the Dr. Ivory Von Tickle.
Yes.
And we have the one about scales.
So scales are your friends.
So let's throw that in, and then we'll talk about it after, because it's got that wow factor. Here's Cynthia Shaw, Dr. Ivory Von Tickle on the Jim Masters Show Live.
Hello, piano students. My name is Dr. Ivory Von Tickle, and I am your perceptive piano teacher. Today, our lesson is called Scales are your friends. You know, scales. A, B, C, D, E. And sometimes scales can actually spell words. Like B, A, D. Bud. Like bud. Like in the morning when you get up and you brush your teeth and you comb your hair and you color it a little bit, and you take a bath in the bathtub. You know, you splash water all over yourself. It's just so fun. Anyway, let us welcome our first student. Here's the card. The student's name is Ginger.
It's Ginger.
Yeah. Ginger. What do you know about scales?
Nothing. I hate them.
Ginger, scales are your friends.
They're not my friends. They're boring and mean, and they're still your boyfriend.
999, your boyfriend. Your piano health depends upon scales and not cookies, and definitely not boyfriends. Then will not we come back. But there you go. See how simple it is.
Dr. Von Tickle, I miss my Bobby Ray.
I could just play these simple scales all day.
Huh?
So, thank you all for coming, and thank you, Ginger, for being our student today.
It's Ginger. But I didn't learn anything.
And remember, scales are your friends.
It's Ginger.
I can never remember if it's the fourth finger or the third finger. Is it the fourth finger or the third finger? Huh? Oh, yeah, the fourth finger. Ta-ta, everyone. It's just easier if I go faster. You know what I mean? I know you understand. Whatever.
That is terrific. And it made me think of the title of your memoir, if you decide to write one. I think it should be My Life in Slates, Sides, and Scales. Because that is Shaw's life. Shaw's slates, sides, and scales.
Yes, indeed. Oh my gosh.
Tell us about Dr. Von Tickle there.
So
she appears every once in a while, which is fantastic, and she seems to be very patient. Ginger was a little rough there as she was enjoying that Oreo cookie, licking the center.
So Dr. Ivory has quite a genesis, I have to say. She so during the pandemic, you know, when we're all like cut off from each other, I noted that people started creating their own films that they could do in their homes, right? I took a sketch class, actually, UCB sketch class. So I had started writing sketches, and I thought, oh, wouldn't it be fun to have a series about a wacky piano teacher? But I didn't really know what to call her. So, actually, a couple of things happened, actually. First off, I put on Facebook, does anybody have any fun piano stories, right? Piano teacher stories. So all these people sent me all these stories. It was awesome. So then I started sort of brainstorming, and but I didn't know what to call her, my creation. So again, I posted on on Facebook, and I asked people, I said, I'm creating this character, a piano teacher character. What ideas might you have? Oh my gosh, it was amazing. I had probably like 50 suggestions of names for this character. It was awesome.
What were some of the other names you recall that were banted about?
I don't remember. I really don't remember. So, but something about Ivory. Somebody said tickling the ivories. I was like, Ivory, and then Dr. Ivory Von Tickle. And then my friend Jeff said, well, if she's Dr. Ivory Von Tickle, she probably speaks with a German accent. I was like, oh, why didn't I think of that? So anyway, so whoever it was that gave me the idea of Dr. Ivory, I wrote to that person. I was like, I'm going to use your work, your idea. Is that okay? And they're like, yeah, of course. So now I had the name Dr. Ivory Von Tickle. And then I just started thinking about fun things. So I
guess that sort of tickled your fancy, huh?
It did. So the first episode I wrote was called it was Scales Are Your Friends. There was the Octave Oracle, Scales Are Your Friends. I forget the first episode. And then the fourth episode with Helene Gallick, who you had on your show.
Yes, she was a connection. She's amazing, isn't she?
She's totally amazing.
I forgot to tell her you're on tonight. We'll have to have her see the archives. Did you tell her?
I told her, yes,
Good.
yes, of course.
Good. High five.
Anyway,
teamwork.
so she was in one called Besserwisserin. So anyway, so I would write these scripts, and the first one I did with my kickboxing instructor. Keeping the fingers in shape. That was the first one. So I wrote the script for him, and so I taped his parts, and I just told him like what he needed to do. So, and then I edited everything together, and I'm messing up my light again. Sorry.
Are you left-handed?
No, I'm right-handed.
I liked the way you did that. No, I'm right-handed.
It's because it's a mirror image on this screen. It's the weirdest thing, right?
It's flipped for you? Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so I started writing these scripts. So the one that you just saw, Scales Are Your Friends, I wrote the script because I had this idea and I was thinking about friends and everything. And then I approached Helen Abel, who actually lives in Atlanta. And so what she and I did was I sent her the script and then we got together on Zoom and we
Zoom.
and we recorded it. So she recorded her part on her phone. And then she sent me all of the footage that she recorded and I edited them together.
You know, I say when people mention Zoom, I say, and I guess it would be, maybe it's generational. Do you remember the kids show Zoom on PBS? Gonna zoom, Boston, Mass, 02134. And all the kids and everything.
Right.
That's when we heard Zoom.
Exactly.
Zoom was that, or Mazda, Zoom. And now everybody says Zoom for everything now. It's amazing.
I know. We're Zooming. Are you Zooming? Did you Zoom today?
I know.
Right. I'm sick of Zoom. I'm sick of Zooming, right?
Right. That's why we don't use Zoom for our show. We're like, everybody does Zoom. Let's do something special and different.
Yeah. Well, StreamYard is actually quite wonderful. So
that's
I think
good
it's a great thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Jim, for having Cynthia on your show. Really enjoying listening to her. Have her back. They're already wanting you back. Isn't that great?
Wow. I better not tell all my stories then.
Yeah. We have more incredible video too. We're weaving it into the conversation, gang, because we have a lot of good material here. This is actually sort of like a minute and a half of the reel for Velvet. We'll show that and then we'll talk about it right after. Okay. Thanks for joining us, everybody. I'm Jim Masters. We're live broadcasting around the world. Fire up the color teenies as they fly through the air. Those are the words of the late, great broadcasting host, Tom Snyder. And here we go.
Now, going to New York was huge. In fact, it was so huge that I skipped my college graduation to fly to New York for the audition. I quickly realized that New York was very different than Pueblo. Cynthia, you are not practicing enough. You have to make love to the piano. I had successes, but they were oftentimes undermined by paralyzing nerves. My eyes glazing over, my fingers shaking, memory slips. But I had this burning desire to play the piano and to be seen, to be heard, to be wanted. Because that's what made me special. That's what set me apart from other people. I was a musician.
Very, very nice. We have some more too. We're going to show. Did you want to tell us about that? That's fantastic. I like the way you weave in the stories as you're playing.
Thank you. So all of those were taken in 2020, in January of 2020. I performed the show at the Winterfest, which was held at the Hudson Guild Theater. And so all of those clips were taken from that show because I had a great videographer to take the pictures. And thank goodness I did, because then like within a month, everything stopped.
Sort of wrapped up and closed up, right?
Yeah. So
zipped up, wrapped up, closed up.
Exactly. So I had a bunch of clips, and then I had all these reviews that I kept compiling and making sure I kept them. And then when I was applying for the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, I needed to have a demo. So I spent a lot of time putting that together. And my director, Peter Michael Marino, also helped. He's a wonderful director and also a great dramaturg. And he also totally like putting things together. Like he helped me know where to put the the quotes and all of that stuff. So really putting together something that showed a broad range of what is in the show. So
That's
so
fantastic.
that was a really fun thing too. So like, you know, I'm becoming like the iMovie editor. So which I like, but it takes a lot of time. So anyway, so that's what that is.
Merlin asked, is there a certain kind of piano that you enjoy playing?
I have a Steinway. I bought it during the pandemic, actually. It's a 1903 Steinway. But before that, I had a Kauai for like 45 years.
Cindy
So
wanted to know were you able to, and the answer is yes, keep busy during the pandemic.
Yes, I know, the evil P.
Yeah. YouTube goes crazy I know when they hear it. Yeah.
I did. I mean, I was able to teach piano lessons online. All my students got on Zoom and we had lessons online. I was active in acting in Zoom performances with Planet Connections and other organizations. I went for long walks every day.
Yes, we did too. Cycling, walking, swimming in the ocean, getting in, well, not getting in touch. I've always been in touch with it, but getting out into nature. Yeah, very important.
Yeah, that was really quite lovely. And that was in a funny kind of way. One of the benefits is that I got outside a lot more and I actually appreciated being outdoors much more than I had before. And then the other thing I did, I started singing more, and I started, because I was watching a lot of Zoom performances, I started learning songs that I hadn't learned before, musical theater songs, because I had always wanted to do a cabaret show. So this is my other thing. I had always wanted to do it. Yes. So I'd always wanted to do a cabaret show. And so I started learning a bunch of new music. And because I play the piano, I recorded all of my accompaniments on the piano, and then I could sing to my accompaniments. And so that was another thing that kept me really busy during the pandemic. So
that's incredible, huh?
Yeah.
It's amazing. Incredible. Good stuff. And we've got more for you here, gang, right here at the Jim Master Show live. Now, this is Winterfest Dora lesson.
Oh, right. This is my lesson with one of my piano teachers, Dora Zaslavsky, when I imitate her. Yeah.
All right, here we go. Enjoy, gang.
I played my Bach partita for her. No, Cynthia, you have to play with more passion, more drama. Scoot over. Let me show you how it's done. Let me show you how the master plays. Piano. Cynthia, you are not practicing enough. I practiced all the time. Well, as long as there was a green sticker on Jim's door. But I never seemed to be home when Dora would call to check up on me, making sure I was practicing. She did that to all of her students. And that's true. She did.
Did she really? Yes. How long did it take you to actually put the show together to, remember it all and get it down in writing and then be able to weave music in and create a full on performance? Did it take several years to get it to be where you wanted it to be?
Yeah. I mean, I started writing it, I think in 2017. And I took a class with Austin Pendleton, a solo show class, and that was really, really great.
He's amazing. He's been a guest on our show like 2 or 3 times. He's terrific.
He was so wonderful. But we go to the first class. There were like 5 or 6 of us in this class. And at the first class, he says, "All right, everyone, next week, we're going to start performing our shows." I hadn't written anything, nothing at all. But I thought, okay, well, then this is good incentive for me to start writing. So anyway, I started writing, I think it was 2017, although I had started just writing down my memories before that. And then that was 2017. So I worked on it for a whole year. I had a director, Paige Clements, who was a wonderful director. She works at T. Schreiber Studio. And I would get together every 2 weeks with Paige, and she and I would work on the script. I would read her what I'd written, and we would talk about it, and we would all this stuff. And so she was my first director, so that when I did the show in 2018 at the United Solo Festival, she directed it. But then I performed the show for another whole year, and I began to feel like there were things that weren't working anymore, and she and I talked about it, and she said, I don't think I can take you any further. I'm not a writer. I can't take you any further.
You've reached the limit as far as what she can show you. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so
that's very kind of her to actually be that honest.
It was so beautiful because we had a beautiful, beautiful breakup. And, because she was my friend too. That was the thing, right? So we had a beautiful breakup, and
You stay in touch?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And so then I contacted Peter Michael Marino because I knew that he did solo shows and he does comedy, and I had done some other things with him, and I just thought he was wonderful. And I sent him the script that I had been working on, although I had rewritten a bunch of stuff. But anyway, I sent him the script, and he read it, and he loved the script, and he's like, you have to rewrite this script. And so again, I would meet with him, and I would read what I had, and I recorded it. And, we talked about, what he saw was missing, right? Places that I could define better, places that I need to speed through, all of this stuff. So I just decided, you know what? I've hired Peter. He's my director, and I trust him beyond anything. So I'm going to do what he says. And that's exactly what I did. He's like.
So what was it? Less is more a little bit, or just make it a little bit tighter?
Tighter.
Because when you're telling your own story, you pretty much think, like we all do, that every little detail has to be in there.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Yes, exactly. And he's like, you don't need this. He says, because what is your story really about? Well, my story is about coming to New York and getting into Manhattan School of Music. That's my story. Right. But he said, I had because I love to tell stories, and I had all these really fun little stories. He's like, no, that interferes with the story. That interferes with the art.
Distracts, right? Takes them away, right?
Exactly. You can tell us about that one thing in 2 sentences. And I was like, but he was right. He made me take everything out of passive voice. I had a lot of things like, I sort of felt like, he said, no, you were jealous. I was like, you're right. He's like, don't use passive voice. Right. So I had to go through, and I did a check of my whole script. And I looked for every time that I said, I felt. And there were a lot of them. Right. So he really, and then, then I performed the show until 2020. And then I did the show last year in the storefront window at the Gene Frankel Theater, which was really an amazing experience. Yes.
Wow.
Yes. I was behind.
What was that like?
It was wild. It was really wild because I was in this little space in the storefront. It was a glass window. I had a mic, and everybody sat on the street, and they could have drinks and dinner and on the street there. And there were speakers outside, and I performed the show. It was really, and people were walking by all the time too.
Would it be funny if you did it like you were a mannequin, like the Christmas displays?
Yes.
Wait, is she real, or is she one of those window display mannequins?
Well, exactly. And as people walked by, just off the street, right?
They're like, "Ooh, what is this?"
They'd walk by, and all of a sudden they'd go, "What? Wait, what's going on?" And so in the middle of the show, I'd go, "Hello, nice to see you," or something like that, just to sort of. Fortunately, it didn't throw me off, but
that cool. That's funny.
So that was really cool. So anyway, when I did the show that time, Peter and I reworked the show again, and then this time when I took the show to Reykjavik, and then the show that I'm doing now, I've reworked the show again. Like, I have a bunch of stuff about my father, and that section I can't even tell you, a million times I've rewritten it because it's just so hard, and I keep finding better and better ways to say what it is that I want to say.
Are you saying it in a way as if you're telling your father?
No. Because I talk about everything from my experience. So I don't ever really talk to him. Because I love my father. My father's passed away now, but I love my father, and I never wanted to do or say anything that would be disrespectful to him. And yet there were things, it wasn't like abusive things, but there were just disconnects, you know, like
he had his way of thinking and right.
Well, yeah. Or like this, believe it or not, this year when I was working on the show, it occurred to me, I had never thought about this. It occurred to me that when I did my master's recital many, many, many years ago, that was the last time my father ever heard me play the piano. And it had never occurred to me. Isn't that wild? Like, here I am, an old ancient person. And, you know, so like these things that you discover about yourself and about your family and everything that when you're growing up, they're just normal. It's just normal. That's how it is. Daddy and I don't play music together, right? That's just normal. That's how our family is. No, most families that are musical, they play together. Everybody plays together, but not us. So there was kind of a disconnect in that way. So
that is amazing, right?
Yeah.
Why do you think this was?
Well,
was it a generational thing, or?
I mean, it might have been that it was an all boys club because he played jazz and big band. It might have been that.
Yeah.
Although my sister played flute and he did play jazz with her. So it could be that because I played classical piano, my dad couldn't find a way. It could be.
With that, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I think that my dad was so troubled and tortured about his own playing that he had a really hard time connecting with me in that way.
Yeah.
You know, like even when he was alive and I would call him in Colorado, he could talk for a really long time about all of his jobs, but he never asked me about my jobs.
Yours, yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, and I've spoken to my mom about this and she goes, you know, I wonder if your father was jealous in the sense that you did what he couldn't do. Right.
Yeah. And sometimes it works in the reverse, where if the person can't do it, they extra support the other one, like a child that could.
Right.
It's an interesting thing, but I've heard scenarios like that where there is like a jealousy. So then they just feign not interest, though I bet you there were times where he was aware of what you were doing and he was quietly rooting, but just didn't express it or know how to express it. Sometimes,
yes,
you know, you find a letter, a note, or some indication from comments from somebody else years later that they actually were proud. They just never said it or didn't know how to say it, or they didn't want you to hear it because they thought maybe it would slow you down or whatever. Sometimes that happens.
Yeah, I think my dad was definitely like that. I mean, he was never a demonstrative person at all. He was fun and he was smart and he was intellectual and he loved his music. But I think as far as him expressing how he felt in his family, that just wasn't done. Right. So I think he had a really hard time expressing how he felt. So I kind of choose to feel right now that he's rooting for me.
Now, it's funny because we're going to segue into this clip here that we have. Stage Dad.
Oh,
what a segue, huh?
Anthony Abel. Oh my God. Oh my God. You should have Anthony on your show. He is hilarious. Oh my God. He's so brilliant.
Tell him about the show.
I will, because he's brilliant. He's a wonderful pianist, actually. But he and I met in acting class, but he does funny stuff. Anyway, so yes. So show Stage Dad.
You're Stage Dad, folks. I'm Jim Masters. You're watching the Jim Masters Show live, broadcasting live around the world. Thanks for joining us, and leave a comment for us, gang. If you want to comment in the JMS Live chat room, the lovely chat room, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. You can chat with each other, and we throw some of your comments on here. If you want to support what we're doing, super chat, super emoji, super stickers in chat. Also, the super thanks little icon there is great. And drop a comment on the YouTube channel and give us a like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And now, Stage Dad.
They say that life begins at the big 50, but for me, thanks to the Academy, it began at 69. And so I just really... Oh, I bet you wrote this piece of shit.
Look, Cynthia.
Well, you know I'm your producer. Come on.
Oh. Now that's how you should do it.
God, stop rolling.
Time's up.
Yeah.
Life began at 69, huh? That somehow sounds like a question on Match Game. The game show from the 70s with Brett Summers and Charles Nelson Riley.
Yes, exactly. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I had to put this this stuff in my hair to make it gray, right? But it shed all over the place. That stuff, this spray, I put in my hair, it shed all over the place. And I took the subway home like at 2 o'clock in the morning, something after that shoot was over. And like, I had like this dandruff all over me from that white stuff. Ugh.
They were probably like, what kind of party, what kind of white party did she come from?
But oh my gosh, Anthony was just so, he's a very, very, very funny writer, very, very wonderful guy.
His take on life and people and humanity and all that.
Yeah.
We have more folks for you here on the Jim Masters Show live. Let's see. This one is Winterfest, Pittsburgh of the West. Tell us about this one. Or do you want to know it?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so this is another one. So yeah, you'll see.
All right, gang, we'll show this and we'll come back and take you to Pittsburgh of the West.
Pueblo was called the Pittsburgh of the West. Because the main industry was the steel mill. But Colorado people called it the armpit of the West. Because the whole area reeked of this metallic, rotten egg smell. My grandparents, my mother's parents, lived by the mill, and it was awful. Thank goodness we lived on the other side of town, and we'd drive past the Rainbow Bread Factory, where you could smell freshly baked bread. This is where I grew up, and this is what I practiced. Our poor old piano was so beat up and beyond repair, so my folks splurged and ordered a new piano from back east. Well, we called any place east of the Mississippi River back east.
Back east. That is funny. And you can hear the audience reaction. They're having a really good time with it too, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
So Pittsburgh of the West, huh? Minus all the bridges.
Yeah, exactly. It was called Pittsburgh of the West because of the steel mill. But what's funny about that particular clip is that particular night, there were some people from Pittsburgh in the audience. Yeah. So when I said that just totally made them crack up. So, but I don't think it was just them, because even when I did it in Reykjavik, I did that line and people laughed. So I was like, oh, I guess that's kind of a funny line. So there you go.
Is Reykjavik Pittsburgh of the East?
No,
not at all.
Not at all. No. Not at all.
Did you ever think you would say, and when I did it in Reykjavik, huh?
No,
wow.
No.
Yeah.
But yeah, oh my God.
You're still on a high from that, aren't you?
I am. I have to say it was my second time in Iceland. So when we went the first time in 2015, I came back and we toured the whole island that time. I came back and for 2 weeks, I was so obsessed with Iceland that I put together a whole like travelogue video with music and all of this stuff of Iceland. I guess I'm sort of an obsessive person because that was all I could think about was creating this video. So I did. Yeah. So because my show is, of course, autobiographical because everything is about me.
We have lots of patter on the show here on Jim Masters Show. Lots of patter and banter.
Yeah. So
the show is about me. I like the way you did that.
I mean, isn't it always,
That was very Zsa Zsa Gabor.
Yeah, this is all about me. Anyway, so I wrote this patter and Lenny had a few suggestions, but he was like, wow, your patter is really good. So anyway, so that's kind of how the show came about. He had a really good idea, which is I met my husband contra dancing. And so he said, well, why don't you have a little section? People don't really know about contra dancing and English country dancing and Morris dancing and all of that stuff. Why don't you have a little section about that? And so I did. And I actually brought my husband up on stage and we did a little dance together.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. So that was really fun.
That's cool. A lot of people know about contradiction. We hear a lot of that these days.
Yes, yes.
This is contra dancing. That's
Contra
cool.
dancing. Yeah. It's like the Virginia Reel, like when you were a kid.
Yes.
Or English country dancing is like in Jane Austen movies, they do English country dancing. So
Did you enjoy it?
yeah. Oh, I did it
Yeah.
for like, I've done it over 20, 25 years, long time.
I think it's time for a visit from Mrs. Baskets.
Oh, yes, Mrs. Baskets. Oh, yes, yes, yes.
Let's bring in Mrs. Baskets, and then we'll be back with more here on the Jim Masters Show with actress, singer, and pianist extraordinaire, the wonderful Cynthia Shaw. But first, here's Mrs. Baskets.
I know.
Some people don't know, Mom.
Anyway, all I want is for him to be happy. That's all I've ever wanted. So when he said he wanted to go to clown college, I said, sure. Do you know how much that school cost in Paris? Well, I'm not exactly sure because it was all in euros, but there were a lot of euros on that check.
Nobody cares, Mom. Fix your shirt.
Simple as that. Fix the shirt.
That guy, every take we took, he did something.
Every take we took. I like that.
He lobbed a different insult at me.
That is funny. So that really looks cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a student film. I mean, we just shot it in the afternoon. Yeah.
A lot of different projects that you've been involved in.
Yeah. So that one was really fun.
We have also Winterfest practicing the piano.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. All right.
Here it is.
Now I had an apartment, so I had to get a piano. Now, Grandpa Shaw had always promised he would buy me a piano, but I had to get married and settle down first. But I wasn't getting married, and I wasn't settling down, and I would never get married, and I would never settle down. I just needed a piano. Thank goodness my mother convinced him. When the piano arrived, I realized I'd made a huge mistake. It was tall and bulky and big, and it took over half my apartment just there against the wall. But there it was, and I had to practice. Now, I don't know if any of you have actually ever lived next door to a classical pianist, but this is what practicing is like. It's designed to torture your family and your neighbors, anyone within earshot. So first, you play your right hand. Over and over. Then you do the left hand. Over and over. Then you put it together. This can go on for hours and hours. Are you tortured yet? My neighbors were.
Da 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 da. You hear it now for the rest of the night. Da 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 da. Very well done. But it's funny, yeah. It's funny how you really are weaving the story in with the music. It's really something quite special, and it's near and dear to your heart. What do you hope that people get from it, as much as it has the entertainment value, the story underneath it all? What do you hope they're left with when they see the show?
Well, actually, I don't have to hope because I've been told. And the first time when I did the show, people wrote to me and they talked to me about it after the show, but they told me things that I had not expected at all. What they said to me was that it made them remember their own youth. It made them remember decisions that they made in their young lives about where they were going to go.
Yeah.
And it also, because I have a very specific moment in the show that's a total epiphany moment, which truly happened to me in my little apartment, that they said that moment when it happened, that they identified with my sort of making that break as a child to being my own person, like breaking with my parents and being my own person. So people actually not only relive their own lives and their own creativity, their creative process, but like I had one friend, he's like, oh, after the show, I couldn't even go out with you because it just reminded me so much of my own journey that I had to go home and I had to write about it.
Wow.
It made me think about it. Yeah, exactly.
Put it in the journal, sort of journaling there. Wow.
Exactly.
So you triggered that for him. Wow.
Yes, exactly. So I didn't expect
Very
that.
cool.
I mean, I really expected my show to just be a series of cute little stories, you know. I didn't expect that it would touch people in that way.
That's incredible. Sometimes you never know when you create art or do anything in life, how people are touched until they come up to you, you know, in the supermarket and they say, I just want to let you know, I don't want to bother you when you're in the produce aisle, but I just wanted to tell you that such and such, such and such. That's a beautiful, beautiful thing, isn't it?
Well, I think it's the reason that we need art. And I think it's the reason that we need theater and storytelling, literature, everything, because when we read literature or we go to the theater, suddenly people are on stage expressing something that we might have inside of us, but we're afraid to talk about it or afraid to express it, or we haven't been able to. And all of a sudden there's someone on stage saying it. And I think it's very cathartic for all of us.
Yes. Yeah. You know, I can verify just in the conversation that we're having right now, and don't take this the wrong way, but you are definitely not a professional imbecile.
Oh my God, that kid. Oh my God.
Isn't that a great
yes.
way to lead in? People are saying, what did Jim just say? Did he say that she's not a professional imbecile on his show? There's a reason. Calm down. There's a reason, everybody, because that's the name of the next clip, The Professional Imbecile.
Exactly.
Do you want to preface this or let it roll? And then we will
just let it roll. Yeah.
One of the things I'm a big believer in life is you got to laugh. You got to have levity. That is huge to survive all the things that life throws at you. You got to be able to laugh and at yourself too.
Absolutely.
You got to be able to laugh at yourself. Absolutely. Join the club, right?
Oh, I know. Oh my gosh.
Here is the professional from the hurricane wrapped in this wonderful package to a professional imbecile right now. Here we go.
Listen, honey, I wish your father and I could help pay for some of this, but it's just really expensive.
Don't worry about that, Mom. I know tickets are expensive. It's a far trip. Like,
there's no one like Maury Benjamin.
No, so you've said.
But still, I guess you'll be okay, I guess.
Okay.
What kind of festival is this?
A fun one?
It's not.
Yes, it was.
Oh, okay, Mr. Idiot Fest. But if I eat a grape that you licked, this is not going to end well. I might be new to this, but don't you think that would be better off in like the Moron Fest? I remember when we'd go to that Moron circuit.
Mom, I'm not exactly an amateur anymore.
And if you do well in it, that's amazing. Good for you. So I created sort of bizarre cuts there. I don't know, but
yeah, licking the grape and
oh my God! Well, because he had to lick the grape, he licked the grapes. I'm cutting the grapes, right? I'm peeling the grapes, right? And then he grabs a grape, he licks it, and then he puts it back in the bowl to torture me.
That's
torture me.
That's like the people that, you know, take a chip and eat half of it and then put it back in the dip and double dipping. I think there was a Seinfeld episode about George Costanza double dipping.
Yes.
Do not double dip. Now, are you good at memorization when you have scripts and you have dialogue and you have to memorize it all? I don't know if you've ever been on any of the soap operas or have had any play in the soap operas, but the 55 pages, we've had a lot of soap opera folks come through here too, and you know, there's 55 to 60 pages they have to soak in and then be able to present. Are you good with memorization with scripts and all?
No, or at least I feel like I'm not. So, I mean, my show is 18 pages and I memorize it, but I also perform it. So, but yeah, so no, memorizing is hard for me. And I try all sorts of different things. And every acting class that I've taken, a teacher has a different method in order to do it. So yeah, I have to work on memorizing.
Are you good at ad-libbing? Like, say, for example, you can't remember something, but you're on air or on stage, sort of filling in the blanks so people wouldn't even really know?
Yeah, I am. And sometimes I memorize things by letter numbers. So, I mean, by the alphabet. So like, I know that such and such a word starts with the letter T.
Yes.
Right? So it might not be troubled. It might be tumult or something like that. Right. So I'll be like, oh, it's that letter T word. What is it? Right. So, yeah, so it's hard for me. Although when I started acting, I thought I would never, ever, ever be able to memorize anything ever. And actually that's not true.
That's not true.
So, and I have to say, a lot of people say, oh, you know, when I got older, you know, it got harder for me. I'm like, I don't buy into that. For me personally, I do not buy into that. I'm not gonna be that person that says that. I mean, I wasn't memorizing when I was 24, but I just feel like it actually gets better for me the more I do it. So I'm not going to buy into that nonsense.
Yeah, you can just, keep trying. Don't give in. Don't give up. Right.
Right.
Be
Exactly.
resilient. Believe in yourself. We always talk about that on the Jim Master Show here.
Yeah.
All the time. It's really important to do that.
Yeah.
And again, if it doesn't work out, and you've tried over and over and over again, and you're just frustrated and it's just not working, and you're like, I think I just got to give in and give up on this. I've tried every which way to perfect this, and I'm just pulling my hair out. You could always become a pickpocket.
Oh, I know what that segue means.
What a great laugh that was. That was a head movement too.
Well, that was like hearty har har.
That was a very. I think you created a new dance.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, you think you're going to get that raise, huh?
Yeah, you just wait. You're
the
not getting anything.
Pickpocket clip. Yeah. Well, watch the pickpocket clip. Now they're intrigued. I love how we're not telling them what it is until they see it. And then, so again, if things don't work out, folks, I guess you could always be a pickpocket. We're not, Cynthia and I are not suggesting that.
No.
However, here's the pickpocket clip.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Wow.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine. Gene Taylor?
Pickpocketed somebody that knows you. It's probably an old friend or what have you.
No, he was a student.
He was a student.
So the story is, and the next scene, you would, if I had put that in there, but in the next scene, we're at a coffee shop, and I was an art teacher, and I wasn't making enough money as an art teacher. I was like adjunct art teacher or something, and so I took to picking pockets. So he had to. So I did pick his. Oh, wait. I think I did pick his pocket at the place, but then I felt bad, so I dropped his wallet on the floor. Oh, because he couldn't find his wallet. That was it. He couldn't find his wallet, so I dropped his wallet on the floor, and then I was like, "Oh, look, there's your wallet."
Oh boy, yeah.
And he picked it up. He's like, "Oh my gosh, Gene, thank you so much."
That is funny.
It was very, very funny.
Wow. Where can people see all these? these films and all that?
Well, it's funny that you asked that, Jim. I have all of my clips on Cynthia Shaw on a YouTube channel, Cynthia Shaw.
Good.
If you just search Cynthia
It's
Shaw,
all there. So
it's
those
all there. Yeah, I have playlists of Dr. Ivory. I have film clips. I
and
have
all the rest. Yeah.
Velvet Determination. So I have all of these. Yeah, all my clips on
We
Cynthia Shaw.
we also have some terrific photos too and things of that nature. We'll sort of go through them and maybe you can tell us what we're seeing, what's happening.
So this is from a musical that I did last November called Full Circle. And it's about a family that goes full circle. So I'm actually comforting my grandson. So I play grandmother. Yeah. So that was a really fun project. It was in November when all of us were
When everybody was sort of,
thinking like everything was over.
right.
So that's from the same show. So that girl she was my daughter, and that was my husband. So she's telling me how old fashioned I am in that one. So this is with my friends, Mary Goggin and Valerie David.
Valerie David. Yeah. Valerie was on our show.
Yeah. So
she's fantastic. Did you go to Reykjavik with her? Cause she went to Iceland.
She went last
before.
year. She went last year.
I remember she was all excited to go to Iceland I believe it was with the Pink Hulk.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Wow.
So this was actually taken. She's trying out a new show called Baggage from Baghdad about her father who was from Baghdad. And so Mary and I and my husband and some other people went to see a reading of it. So this was after that. So we were all together.
How'd you guys meet?
Oh, that's a good question. Wow. Well, that's a really good question.
That wasn't on the script, was it?
No. You should have told me about that question.
That's it.
No,
you want to call Valerie? You want to phone a friend?
I don't know the chance. Can I have one chance, please?
Yeah, one chance. This is the Millionaire Show. I'm Regis.
No, I think, when you start doing solo shows, you start going to see other people's solo shows, and then you start making friends with other solo performers. Like Mary Goggin, she has a show called Runaway Princess that she's also doing at 59 East 59th Street. And so I met her at United Solo. So I think I met Valerie through solo people. Yeah, I don't remember, but I've seen her show a number of times. It's really amazing.
She's terrific. Yeah, really nice person and cancer survivor. And
3 times. 3 times. It's unbelievable. So this is a picture from a film that I did last September. And I was kind of a cult leader. And so this young woman was going to marry this guy, and she'd set everything up so beautifully. And I was doing the marriage ceremony, but it was a setup for the guy because he had left her. And so he was being sort of transported into like an alternate universe. Yeah. So that was a fun shoot. And we were at this amazing house in Nyack. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
so fun. So this picture is outside of Caveat, and Diana Varco, who's right there in the center, she had just done her show Shattered. And so that's my husband, David, and then Diana in the middle, and then Antonia Kaspar, and then Mary Goggin.
Antonia, she's a friend too, and she was on the show recently.
Yeah, so
I think we have a lot of mutual friends, Cynthia.
I think we do. I think we absolutely do.
Are we cousins?
Are we? I don't know.
Probably. These days, you never know. We could play them on TV.
We could.
That is funny.
Yeah, so... And then this one, Antonia had done her solo show at the Episcopal Actors Guild. And her show is called 45 Coffee Dates. So there we were together. And there's Heather Massey, who has her amazing show, Hetty. Have you ever had her on your show?
No, she hasn't been on.
Oh, you have to have her. She's really interesting. She has a whole solo show that she does about Hedy Lamarr.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and she's taken that show all over the world. Oh my gosh. You definitely have to have her on your show. Yeah, and there we were just you can't really read what those signs say, but they were very silly. So we had a good time.
That's great.
So this is another full circle art picture. So this was the entire cast. I think everyone is there. So it was essentially a black parents had a black son and the white parents had a white son, and the white son and the white daughter and the black son got together. And so it was really the melding of these two families that were very different in Detroit. There's Lenny Watts.
Lenny, yes.
Yes, and my voice teacher, Chris Frisco. So that was after a session that we had together.
What a cool name, Chris Frisco.
Chris Frisco, right?
What a cool name that is, huh?
Yeah, he's such a wonderful pianist and a wonderful person. He's actually my voice teacher.
Yeah, that's a cool name, Chris Frisco.
Yeah. So
there would be no reason to change that name for stage purposes. If I was Chris Frisco, I would just stay Chris Frisco. Like I'm Jim Masters, and I really am Jim Masters.
Yes,
why would I change it?
Exactly. There would be no reason for you to change it at all because you're a master.
Even though I get accused of that's not your real name, Jim Masters. You picked that out of a hat. I said, no, I'm the fifth one.
Right. You're like, here's my mom and my dad.
That's right.
The Masters. Yes, exactly.
Chris Frisco. That's a cool name.
Yeah.
So you said he's sort of your voice teacher?
He's my voice teacher. Yeah. And he was supposed to play for my cabaret show, but then he tours a lot. So he was not in town. So
he was, doing his thing.
So this picture is taken from, I did a new play called Fugitive Colors at the Gallery Players here in Brooklyn. And so the photographer caught me in quite an amazing pose. So that was kind of neat. So
this was back in April when you had filed your taxes and realized you were getting a refund?
I wish I got a refund this year. I did not.
Done, and guess what? I'm getting a refund, honey.
No. I think I played. So in this play, I played a character that I've never played before, which was like the sexy Smurf. No, Murphs. No, what are they called?
Smurf. No, I've never met a sexy Smurf.
No, what are the what was that sexy older woman called? A MILF. A MILF.
Oh, yeah. A little different from the Smurf. But write that down. You might have created something. A sexy Smurf.
Anyway, so I played
more
like
wine,
a sexy.
Stat. She needs more wine right now.
I haven't even had my wine yet.
Right. That's
I was like, I'm not going to have wine before Jim's show. That would be very rude. Afterwards. So no. So I played a sexy woman. So I've never really played a sexy woman before. So that was very interesting for me. And there's my friend Liz Bove. So she and I were knocking heads throughout the whole play. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. In fact, she's doing the House of Bernarda Alba right now. Actually, they're performing it right now. And so we had a younger woman in the cast, and so Katie. So I was telling her something very important, snapping my fingers. And there's me and Liz at the end of the show. She was imitating me because I had these long, bizarre monologues that I had to do about how to kill my husband.
And your real husband is watching upstairs, right?
Exactly. Hello, David. He's
Hello,
David. So this is actually my team from my cabaret show. So Stephen Ray Watkins played the piano for my show, and then Lenny Watts was the director. So that was after one of our rehearsals. And there's my friend Kirsten. We were having lunch at this amazing place on West 46th Street called, Valerie's. And we got up and I was like, Kirsten, look at this picture that's right behind you.
Yeah.
So we have to take a picture of us in the front of this picture. So yeah, so it just totally, so Valerie's, it's called on West 46th Street. You have to go there. They have really good food. So there's Heather again and Mary and David. And we were at the Crane Theater. And I believe it was at a fundraiser for Ukraine, actually. So this is a couple of months ago.
From afar, because there's a slight blur in that picture, he does look like, this looks like an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm with Larry David.
Yes.
Wouldn't you say?
Yes. And in fact,
he looks like Larry David.
He looks like Larry David.
Or a very thin Bernie Sanders.
Yes. So one time we were at a Mexican restaurant in Chelsea, and a man sheepishly walked up to us at the table, and he thought my husband David was Larry David.
Right.
And Larry, I mean, my husband David didn't really even know who Larry David was.
Could you imagine if your husband's middle name was Larry? No,
Oh my-
I'm not Larry David. I'm David Larry.
Well, we actually ended up watching the entire Curb Your Enthusiasm. So now David knows who Larry David is. And he loves him. Yeah.
And he does a brilliant Bernie Sanders too. He can really, he takes that. But that's funny. That's
Isn't that a riot?
It really is. It does look like that.
Yeah. So, this picture, I played for a dance, an English country dance called the Playford Ball. And the violinist, Naomi Morris, she's an amazing violinist. And Danny Elias plays clarinet. Wonderful, wonderful musicians. So, we played a dance together.
That is cool, huh?
Yeah.
Always great to be surrounded by good people.
Yeah, exactly. So this is me hemming it up in front of Don't Tell Mama. Always trying to think of marketing ideas, right? Oh, look, there's a marketing idea. I'm gonna take a picture of myself in front of Don't Tell Mama. So my hair looks kind of flat, but and I have my double chin. But yeah, so that's my little marketing idea there.
I'm at Disney World.
Exactly. That's my sister.
Oh, wow.
That's my sister,
And
Jessie.
is she also in the arts too?
No, my sister Jessie is an acupuncturist.
Oh boy,
Yeah,
there's an art to that, right?
Yes. She has an acupuncture practice.
In Colorado?
No, here in New York.
She's on the East Coast. Wow.
Yeah. And then she trades stock in the stock market. So she has like.
Is she living on Tums and Alka-Seltzer right now?
A little bit, yes.
Excedrin and.
Yes, thank goodness she's once in a while I'll talk to her. She's like, I can't sleep. I can't sleep.
This
you know.
is like, yeah.
Yeah. So but she's wonderful. So, and there's Helene.
There's Helene. Yes.
Yes.
Great shot of you too.
Yeah, we were at. Oh my gosh, there's a theater, a screening theater in the Whitby Hotel, which I had on West 56th Street, I think it was. And she took me. This was a SAG screening, and she took me because I'm not SAG. And it was and it was like the most beautiful hotel, the Whitby.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, so and they had orange chairs, so that was really fun.
Orange chairs, really?
Yeah. You can kind of see them in the background right behind me.
Yes. Oh yeah. That's very cool.
Yeah, so it was a really neat place. Oh, so this is in Reykjavik, and this is the theater that I performed, the Íðnó. So and there's David, and you can see how cold it is, right? And then the woman in between us, I feel bad, I can't remember her name right now. Anyway, but she was a Spanish performer, and she did an opera show. And so she was just so lovely. But what's interesting is the name of the place, the I and the D has a little line through it.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that is a the sound. David had to correct me a bunch of times. So it's Íðnó, like a the, like the. So it's Íðnó.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So when I was sending out publicity, I had a really hard time finding that letter on the alphabet.
So you learn something new every day on the Jim Master Show Live.
Exactly.
I say that all the time.
Yes, exactly. There is a D with a line through it. So these two people
God,
were.
he really does look like Larry David.
Doesn't he? I know.
He could be his double.
I know. He's totally his doppelganger. It's amazing.
Yes.
So this is Nick Jamison and his girlfriend Christy. And Nick, this is in Reykjavik, and Nick lives in Reykjavik. He is the most amazing. Well, he doesn't play guitar, like mandolin, whatever. He writes song lyrics. He improvises songs. He's a great musician. He's a really funny guy. He used to be in LA, and I think he moved to Reykjavik. There's a great culture scene there. He's a big part of it. And his girlfriend, Christy, is a beautiful artist. So we were very lucky to befriend them.
That's
really
Nick in Reykjavik.
Nick in Reykjavik, that's right. So here we are on our little tour. This is Gilfoss. This is one of the huge waterfalls in Reykjavik. It's like It's like the Niagara Falls of Iceland.
You almost look like you're doing, the way the angle is, like you're in the middle of doing whitewater rafting. Doesn't
I
it
know,
look like
doesn't
that?
it? It does look like
Yeah,
that.
looks like you're doing it.
It does. Yeah, we had a. It does, but yeah, the water was like whoosh behind us.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So Gullfoss, Gullfoss, Gullfoss. And there I am with my friend Joan Kane, who is a wonderful director, and she has a solo show too called Almost 13. Anyway, so she and I, she came to my cabaret show, and so we did a little selfie after the show. Oh, there's Anthony. Do you see him in the background there?
Oh yeah, sure.
That's Anthony, and Dolan. Dolan played my husband. This was a little web series we shot a couple of weeks ago, and I don't remember the woman's name who was in front of me. I just met her that one day, and I feel bad. I don't remember her name. But anyway,
and our
we
next
had
guest is
no, don't say that.
the woman in the front row.
But she was very, very nice. So, and Anthony was just such a kick. Oh my gosh. So we did this little scene together that he's supposedly putting out on TikTok. They haven't edited it yet or whatever. So anyway, it'll come soon. So this is these are two pictures from a web series I was in called Ringers. And the top one is Robert Storr, I think his name, and I forget the name of the guy. Because it was a couple of years ago. Anyway, he played a priest and he was hilarious. So anyway, Ringers is a web series about chorus ringers, people that in choral groups get paid to support the regular singers. Oh, there we are.
Hey,
hello.
peekaboo.
So anyway, that was really fun. So there's my postcard from my cabaret show. So Spark of Creation. So that was really fun.
That's fantastic. Yeah.
Molly Gazet took that photo. And then here is the poster. Here I am. Here is the poster from my show. And my friend Michael Bernstein took these photos of me. And then I have this great graphic artist, this woman, Erin, from this place up in Woodstock called Turning Mill. And she's been doing all my graphic art for me. So anyway, so she did all the little notes in the background. So anyway, so this is for my solo show.
Very, very cool.
Yeah. So there's a shot from my solo show when I discovered that I'm not going to get into school. So I'm a little unhappy about that. So these are from Reykjavik. Yeah, this is from Reykjavik.
That's cool.
All of these shots.
Huh?
Yeah, I had a great piano.
Wow. Gee, you've really been enjoying yourself, huh?
I'm trying.
So the show is coming up, right? That's like in a matter of days, from this particular broadcast. If somebody watches this, 3 years from now, then it's past tense and you can just see it online probably. But that's going to be exciting, huh? Are you?
Yeah. So
raring to go?
I am. Yeah. So it's at 59 East 59th Street in their East to Edinburgh Festival, which has already started. Actually, there's probably 13 shows. And all the shows in the festival are going to Edinburgh. So my show is this Wednesday at 8:30, Thursday night at 6:30, and Friday night at 8:30. So 59 East 59th Street. So I will do my Velvet Determination show there on this piano.
Whoa.
This piano right here, because I have to bring my own piano. So during the pandemic, I bought an electric piano, so I have this. So I just have to get it to the theater, which is a whole big thing. But
that's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
You know who enjoyed himself tonight? Mr. George Burns is in the house.
George!
There he is.
George! I love George
it.
Burns. Did he?
Yes, he's got a cigar.
Oh my
He's got
God.
his red pocket square, and he said you knocked it out of the park, and he loved every second of the wit and wisdom, conversation, music, laughs, and the whole kit and caboodle.
Thank you so much, Jim. Wow. And thank you, George. I'm glad. George, I always loved George Burns and Gracie, right?
Oh, yes. He pops in towards the latter part. My aunt collected dolls, and when he turned, I think it was 100 or 99 or 100, she made sure she got the collectible doll, and it got passed down to me. And he pops in every once in a while, and he said, "You're looking good, kiddo." And he observes things. He's got a little martini down below
He
So
does?
he's sort of like a production assistant. So he's got the martini, he's got his cigar. Do you see the cigar?
Yes, I do.
He's got the cigar.
I do. Now,
And
is that martini for him or for you?
the martinis are for him.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. There are times where I've had one there and then I go down to look and it's gone. It's like there's nothing in it. So I
drank
really
it?
think, well, I think George's cigar doubles as a straw. I think he presses a button and it goes, it sort of just shoots out and he just absorbs it all through his cigar.
He is a very clever man.
He really is. That's right. He leaves no fingerprints.
Oh, I feel honored that George popped in for a visit.
He sure did. And this was really wonderful. This was really fantastic having you with us.
Wow, thank you so much. I feel so honored being on your show. As I said, and I saw you last year interview David Shenton.
Yes.
Which was so wonderful. He's so wonderful. I mean, my gosh, he is like got so many irons in the fire, and he's an amazing talent. I mean, and so that was wonderful. And I was like, wow, that Jim Masters, he's such a wonderful interviewer. He makes people like shine, and then when you had Helene a few weeks ago, then I was just thrilled and honored that you asked me.
Pleasure is all mine. As my father has always said, he's always said to me, even when I was a kid, Jim, whenever anybody says something kind or nice to you, ask them to please put it in writing and address it management.
I think that's very good advice.
That's very, very,
do you want me to send something to your management?
Yeah. With this show, it'll come right here. It'll be just like, hand it to me direct and it'll be full circle. This was fantastic.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I feel honored. So
hopefully we'll meet
great.
in person too soon. We're in we're here in the tri-state area. So the New York area. So we're close by, and good luck with everything. And I hope the show met whatever expectations you had. And
oh my gosh, it went beyond my expectations, totally beyond. So I think the next person who gets to be interviewed by you is a very, very lucky person. So
I appreciate that very much.
You're welcome.
I appreciate that. Any last words? Anything you want to share? Anything you're excited about? Anything about our show conversation? Anything you wanted to share before we wrap up?
No, I think I've talked enough about all sorts of things. So I'm just really happy that everybody is here. Thank you all for coming and for enjoying this show.
All the lovities.
Yeah, all the lovities. I'm so glad all the lovities were here. And even on Twitter, like some of the lovities were like retweeting your posts.
Yes,
right?
they do.
So that was so lovely.
Great?
I was like, oh my God, thank you, lovities.
Mona says, thank you, Cynthia. Nice meeting you. It was a great evening. Mona in Louisiana. Kathleen in New York City. Thank you for being here, Cynthia. Great show.
Thank you, Kathleen.
Nikki on the West Coast. Cynthia, it has been a great time. Thank you. Merlin in Ontario, Canada. These are some of our regular lovities. Not that there's irregular lovities, but these are some of the regular lovities.
Yes.
And then there's some who watch quietly too, and they don't necessarily post. They'll comment later on our channel, or they'll write to me privately. It was awesome meeting you, Cynthia. Good luck on all your endeavors.
Thank you, Jim.
Ontario.
Thank you so much.
Sherry Larson in Kansas, USA. Thank you for the wonderful evening, Cynthia. What a talent you are. Good luck in all you do in the future. Just some of the comments coming in here on the Jim Masters Show Live. I wish you well. Let's definitely stay in touch. We'll keep the porch light on for you. Spread the word about the Jim Masters Show Live. We would absolutely love that, Cynthia.
I definitely will. Will.
Really a good way to spend some time, right?
Yes, absolutely. I wouldn't have spent my Saturday evening any other way. So this was just really quite lovely.
And thank your husband upstairs who's watching.
I will.
He can come down now. David,
you can come down now.
You can access the other half of the house now. She's all wrapped. She did good.
Exactly.
That's right. David Larry, not to be confused with Larry David.
Exactly. I know if he came down right now, he could pop his head in, but I don't know. Maybe he will. I don't know. Anyway. You
be well. You take care, and thanks for for being with us and spending all this time with us as well. You know, we chatted for an hour and 45 minutes.
I know. How is that possible?
It doesn't seem like it, right? Everybody says it goes
No.
by so fast. It never seems like that, which is, I take that as a compliment. I appreciate that.
I think that's definitely a compliment. Yeah, absolutely.
You be
Done
well.
good, Jim. All right,
Thank
you
you
too.
very much. So
All
did
righty,
you.
take care. All right, thank you.
Thanks, Cynthia.
All best. Okay,
All
thanks.
right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now. Cynthia Shaw here on the Jim Masters Show Live. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Really a lot of fun. Her wit and wisdom, her great timing, actor, singer, and pianist extraordinaire. Really wonderful having her here on the show. Did you enjoy yourself? I sure did. And I know you guys did too. You've been commenting and laughing and enjoying throughout the entire broadcast. She's multifaceted and multi-talented. And you can find her online and everywhere else. And just type in her name and it comes right up. Again, really terrific. Coming to us live today from New York City on this episode of the Jim Masters Show Live series. Gang, if you enjoyed this episode, be sure and give it a thumbs up, like, and drop a comment. Let us know what you enjoyed about this episode. Maybe some of the moments in the show you enjoyed. Leave a comment on the episode on our YouTube channel. Give us a like, a thumbs up like if you enjoyed the episode as well. We would love that. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. The show is the Jim Masters Show Live, and the channel is Jim Masters TV. Tried to make it really easy for you. See, that's the show, the Jim Masters Show, and the channel is Jim Masters TV. When you subscribe, there's no cost to subscribe. And click the notification bell. Really important, gang. Click the notification bell. I sort of jumped over that word, huh? Click that notification bell so you never miss any of our episodes, because you'll be alerted. You get a little alert. Hey, Jim Masters Show, here's the guest. Here's what's coming up. You'll never miss a thing, which is really, really cool. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you're having a good day wherever you're watching around the world, gang. Want to let you know tomorrow we've got another legendary guest. Madeline Stone is with us, and she's originally from New York, but she is now in Nashville. She just flew there for a project. She's an acclaimed Dove Award-winning songwriter. If you've heard music in the last several decades, you've probably heard a Madeline Stone song. I mean, Wilson Phillips, Neil Diamond, Lucy Arnaz. She's worked with all of them and hundreds more. Her songs are prolific. They're on many Grammy-winning albums. She is with us, and a lot of her music is inspiring too. So we're going to have a great episode. Tomorrow, we're going to spend the afternoon with you. Those who are watching live, it's going to be an afternoon episode of the Jim Masters Show Live. So maybe have some brunch with us, get some coffee going and a bagel or whatever, and join us in the afternoon. We'll be here at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific tomorrow, which is, again, at the time of this show. I know some people watch this all hours of the day, 24/7, 365. But for those watching live, that'll be tomorrow, which is Sunday, Madeline Stone. And then you know who's with us on Monday. Another incomparable legend is going to be here. And we've had many grace us with their presence. Melba Moore. Well, there's Madeline. She's tomorrow. Melba Moore on Monday. Yes, the legendary music legend, film star, Broadway award-winning singer, vocalist, actress extraordinaire on Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Recently, Kevin Eubanks was with us from The Tonight Show, and now he's also co-hosting with Jay Leno again, You Bet Your Life, the comedy game show on Fox Television, Fox TV, and the network, yeah. And Tiffany Anderson is going to be with us next week too. Three-time best-selling author, also a natural hair care specialist, is going to give us some hair care secrets as well, and much more. Check out the episode that was on last night. We had an amazing conversation with brilliant actor Will Roberts. He was with us yesterday. If you missed the episode, it's on our YouTube channel. So are 720 other episodes you can binge watch. Actor, cowboy, and he did some really cool things with ropes and cards, and because he's also an incredible film and TV weapons expert, author, dancer, cowboy, actor, holder of 2 Guinness World Records. If you didn't see that episode, Really cool. He's starring in Studio City with Sean Kanan as well right now on Amazon Prime. So cool stuff. Lots of guests, lots of good conversations, and lots of levity right here on our entertainment lifestyle variety talk show series we call the Jim Masters Show Live. We're going to take off, gang. Thanks for all the comments. As you know, we don't say goodbye. We say see you later and hasta la vista. Ciao, cheers, shalom. And we say sayonara. We say moi loop and all the things that say see you later, but not goodbye. Always a pleasure having you guys with us. Spread the word. When you see me looking here, I'm always looking at the comments that are still coming in. Thank you again for being with us, gang. You are truly the best. I enjoy doing all these shows. We've done so many of them live 7 days a week. Thank you for all the great comments, gang. You guys are truly the best. Mona says, thanks, Jim, for a great show. Good night and good night, Levitas. Hey, Mona, we used some of your Cajun spices that you sent me today. Oh, it was really good. We mixed it into some, it really wasn't ground beef per se. It's plant-based. It's like one of those Impossible burgers, but we ground that up and we put in some peas and string beans and carrots and then some water that came from the carrots. We've done foodie shows before too. And we put it all together and let it simmer on the stove in a pan and then started putting in that Cajun seasoning that you sent me from New Orleans, Louisiana. We're using those seasonings in salads and in everything, Mona. We love them and think of you and appreciate you every time we use them. So thanks so much. And you guys are the best. Thanks for all of the comments. And again, if you'd like to support the show, you can always do one of those heartfelt super thanks that's on our YouTube channel. You see a little heart icon. That helps us as well. Right here on the Jim Masters Show. Thanks for being with us, gang. We love you all, and we appreciate you guys. Take care. We'll see you on the next one. Spread the word. Share the levity about our series. Take care of one another. Be good to one another. And as we always say, be good to yourself. That's so essentially important. If you're a caretaker type, taking care of everybody else, make sure you take time for you and you and you and you and you. You guys are the best. We'll see you on the next one right here on the Jim Masters Show Live. Cheers.